Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm one of the visual reality consultants here at Line Painting of Denver at a beautiful project we had the opportunity of servicing this past summer here in Greenwood Village, Colorado. This is one of the most unique projects that we've had the opportunity to service, and although some of the portions were challenging, they were very rewarding at the end of the day when our craftsmen were able to get everything done and the final product was revealed. One of the main components of this house was all of the stucco, and there's a lot of it on this project. So when we came out for our initial assessment, we saw a variety of cracks on the house, especially multiple hairline cracks on areas like the horizontal surfaces and just areas over time that have taken on more sun and moisture than other parts of the house. So ultimately our goal was to seal everything up before we put our new top coat on, as well as our top coat that helped seal up the remaining cracks on the house. Along with coating all the stucco on the property, what our guys had to do after they finished with all the walls and the accented portions of the stucco was they went around and they hand painted all of these detailed faux grout lines that you'll see along the upper and lower portions of the property. Another large component on the house was all the trim and gutters that had to get serviced along with the stucco. So the guys had to go through and recoat all of the gutters and downspouts on the house. Along with that was all the fascia and trim boards around the house that needed to be painted and were accented a different color from the gutters. Something cool that we also had the opportunity of servicing on this house was the entire inner portion of this tennis court. So originally, the walls were faded, they had areas that were chipping out, there was exposed concrete due to sun and moisture damage. Any of the areas that were compromised on the wall, so the guys had to hand scrape everything, which removed all the flaking product and failed portions of the old top coat on the wall. Following that, the guys actually went around and grinded out certain sections and then put a adhesive concrete patch on that they had to smooth out and sand before ultimately priming and painting the wall. The most unique portion of this project in my eyes was all of the stone caps that we had to service around this basketball court, the tennis court, and the fireplace. Before we came out to do this project, all of these stone caps were completely deteriorating, crumbling, had multiple cracks on each section, and they were just allowing for moisture to seep in and destroy these even further than what they were. So our job was to come out and restore these, and that's exactly what we did. Our guys had to prep these meticulously before they even coated them, which consisted of sealing all of the individual cracks beforehand, applying a concrete compound in some areas where there was complete deterioration and had to restructure areas, followed by an epoxy component to completely glue all of these sections together and prevent them from taking on any more moisture, as you could see, which was done across each cap and grout along each of these individual courts. The final stage after all the prep work we did was to apply a masonry primer and our top coat to all these stones to mimic the look that they had originally when they were installed and to blend in with the rest of the walls on the house. There's also a significant amount of masonry work that we did on this project before we were able to service all of these stone caps around the house. So what we did was have our mason come out and completely grind out every single seam in between all of these culture stones around the tennis court and basketball court, and then apply a new section of grout in between each stone and make sure that the color match was consistent with what was on the rest of the house. Another small detail that I'd like to point out in this project was the guys had to go around after the project and hand paint all the silicone sealant on the perimeter of this property to make sure that the sealant color matched exactly to the stucco walls that we painted on the house. Door restoration, which we did on a few different doors. The entry door in particular, we completely power sanded and hand sanded the wood down to a new layer, followed by applying a wiping stain and then a Spara top coat to give that final result that we wanted to. When we came out for our initial consultation, the outer portion of this epoxy was cracked and very distressed. So what our guys did was they completely grinded this down, sealed any cracks, put their new base coat color and epoxy chips on top to just service these small sections around the garage that were exterior facing to give a new clean look. I think this just goes as a testament to the over 40 services that Line Painting offers, and to show that we're much more than just a painting company, that we're a restoration company that could do it all. Thank you guys again for tuning in to another great video. And as always, get lined.